ECU?
R.
Do you bleed purple and gold? Are you ready to hoist the colors?
Hoist the colors!
It's time for the most in-depth look into the world of ECU athletics. Welcome to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game. Watch the show live on Facebook and at 943thegame.com. Here's Stephen Igo.
Welcome in. It is Wednesday, 2 days out from ECU baseball opening its 2026 season inside Clark LeClaire Stadium. First pitch scheduled for 4 p.m. this Friday. We'll get into that. We got to continue our ECU baseball roster rundown as well. I just remembered that. I did not put it on the sheet for today, but we'll figure out a way to work that in. Two, at some point, we've got our comments section are open on YouTube, Facebook, and X. If you got a question, comment, concern, drop in the chat. If you're watching our feed, it's really close up on my face, so if you really want a good view of me, check out our video feed. We also have James Giglio in the house, Philip Pilkington behind the glass, and intern Isaiah hanging out. James, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Had a good Super Bowl weekend, but now I'm ready to pay my full focus to college basketball and ECU baseball.
So I do want to get your Super Bowl take here in a minute. We'll talk baseball as well, and we'll get into all of that. First, let's introduce Philip Pilkington behind the glass. Philip, how you doing, sir? We were talking pre-show. This week's kind of dragging. I guess it's maybe because it is. We're just waiting for Friday at this point.
Yeah, we're waiting for Friday, and I've had some extra responsibilities this week, so I'm not gonna lie, it's finally catching up. I'm tired. It didn't help that Duke played late last night. It didn't help that Kansas and Arizona played late the night before and having to be up for the morning show. It's finally hit me, man. I'm going to basketball tonight, but I'm glad I'm not covering it so I can leave the second the game ends so Dom can have fun doing all the social media stuff in the press conference and hanging out with James.
Yep, James, you will be covering the game tonight. We'll get more into that as well. Look, I said yesterday the season's over if the Pirates. I mean, the season in many ways is somewhat over, but like it's officially over if they lose tonight. And we'll get into that. Your thoughts on Super Bowl 60, James Giglio? We know you love the halftime show with Bad Bunny, right?
Yeah. I mean, I was a big fan. I was watching the whole way through. But yeah, the Super Bowl, it just felt like it was a long time coming for the Patriots, and not only just the Patriots, but Patriot fans. I don't know a single non-Patriot fan that was not super excited about that game. I mean, think of all the lucky Super Bowl wins they've had over the years. I mean, Ram fans, Falcon fans, even Seahawk fans, even though they won, but their old Super Bowl loss. I mean, Panther fans, they absolutely rejoiced in seeing the Patriots get beat down on the big stage. And no, it wasn't Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, but it still felt pretty good. Even as a Jets fan, division rival, it was a pretty awesome night.
Yeah. Is this scenario, and look, I mean, your team makes the Super Bowl, like it's hard to say like this is worst case scenario, but I almost feel like were the Patriots exposed, was Drake May exposed? Is that just a stupid hot take I have? I feel like this game, and maybe this is over top, I feel like this game, this playoff run could break Drake May. I mean, maybe that's too much, but like I feel like there is going to be immense pressure on him now, James. Going to the next season, it's like if he starts next season slow, I'm kind of worried.
Yeah, their schedule next year is a lot harder than it was this year, and I think exposed is probably the right word. He did have a tremendous regular season, no matter who he played, because I mean it is the National Football League, and these are real professionals. It doesn't really matter what their record says, but in the playoffs, I think we have not seen a playoff run like that where they have kind of gotten like the team has really gotten to play just so lucky matchups. I mean, the Chargers with a dead O-line, Justin Herbert had no time to throw. The weather was not the greatest. And then you had that Texans game where C.J. Stroud had 5 turnovers and the weather again was bad. Denver, another bad weather game where the Broncos starting quarterback who's been the starter all year, gets hurt in the previous round on like the second to last play of the game. So it's just like it was such a fluky run. But I don't think the playoff run should take away what Drake May did in the regular season because it was pretty impressive. And he was only like 5 votes away or 5 points away from being the NFL MVP. So I won't take that away from him, but there will be definitely some more pressure on him next year, especially since second-year quarterbacks that make the Super Bowl have never returned. I know it's a small sample size, but that is definitely something to look for.
And looking at next season's Super Bowl odds, it's kind of crazy. You look at FanDuel, The Seahawks are the favorite at plus 750. The Rams at plus 800 second. As we sit here today, of course, this is pre-free agency, pre-draft. And then you look at the AFC, the Ravens are the favorite, along with the Bills, at plus 1,200.
Where are the Chiefs? I mean, I imagine
the Chiefs are down at plus 1,600. They are fourth in the AFC. They have the Chargers, gentlemen, at plus 1,500. The Broncos are behind the Chargers and Chiefs. So they're essentially saying the Chargers, by the way, who have never won a playoff game in the Justin Herbert era, nor have hosted a playoff game since they moved to L.A., as
they must really like the Mike McDaniel hire.
I guess so.
Offensive coordinator.
I just can't take it seriously. The Patriots are ahead of the Broncos as well. The Jags are plus 2,000 with Denver.
Where are the Jets laying in there?
Houston's at plus 2,000. The Jets are dead last, plus 2,500.
Expected.
Or 25,000, excuse me. So, yeah, plus 25,000. You know, Mahomes, you just don't know with the coming off the injury. The Bengals at plus 3,000. I kind of like those odds. They're way down the list. The Cowboys, Kenny Curlin's in the chat saying, guys, as a Cowboys fan, it's too early to claim this is our year.
I'd wait till after the draft.
It's never too early in the NFL, but Cowboys, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not seeing it.
it
Plus
every
3,000. You know, Colts, we'll see what happens with Daniel Jones or free agency. They made some big moves and were hit with the injury bug. But, you know, the best thing about the NFL is you always have hope unless you're a Jets fan. Sorry, James.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, you look at next year, Ravens' new coach, Bills' new coach. The Chargers are the Chargers. The Chiefs, Mahomes coming off an ACL. The Patriots, are they legit? Can the Broncos, against a tougher schedule as well, repeat what they did? I mean, the AFC, I think, is going to be wide open again.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. And then Mahomes coming back from the ACL. We've seen Tom Brady have an ACL injury and come back, and he ended up winning. It was a little later down the line, but he ended up winning 3 more Super Bowls with the Patriots and then 1 more with the Bucs. So you never know there. And I expect them to bounce back. They re-brought back their old offensive coordinator, Bieniemy, I think, who they won a couple Super Bowls with because Matt Nagy ended up leaving for the Giants. So the Chiefs, I think, are definitely going to be a team I think people will be sleeping on for some reason next year. And they do have other flaws outside of, you know, Mahomes just getting injured and their offense not being that good. And they do have a top 10 pick. So it will be interesting to see how they utilize that. And maybe they end up with Jeremiah Love out of Notre Dame and their offense is just resurgent. I don't know.
Philip, if I were to tell you that the Browns, the Raiders, and the Titans are tied with the Panthers, but the Browns and Raiders have better odds to win the Super Bowl than the Panthers, how would that make you feel?
I guess I'd have to look at everybody's schedule. But, yeah, I don't know who their quarterbacks are. That's kind of messed up.
Cam Ward.
No, Titans I know.
Raiders,
but I'm talking about Browns and Raiders. Like, we don't know who their starting quarterbacks are going to be. Those organizations are historically dumpster fires. Look, the Panthers have a brutal schedule. I don't think they'll make the playoffs. I don't think they're the best team in the NFC South. But those like the Raiders are by far the worst team in their division. They stand 0 chance to make the playoffs. Like the Panthers could wish upon a star again and make the playoffs again if they wish upon a star. The Raiders could wish upon a star, sacrifice a small goat, say the rosary every day between now and then, and they still wouldn't make the playoffs.
Well, I mean, the AFC is just so wide open that, you know, all 4 teams from the division can make the playoffs now. So.
That's true, but there'll be a wild card from the East or the North or
true.
Hell, the South. If it sounds like I'm not huge on the Colts, but it sounds like they're going to re-sign Daniel Jones. Yeah, the Panthers stand a better chance to win the Super Bowl than the Raiders. That's all I got to say. We're bad. We ain't that bad.
I mean, in order to win the Super Bowl, you have to have home playoff games, and the Raiders are not winning the AFC West. Like, I'd see no scenario where they beat the Chargers, Broncos, and Chiefs out. I mean, that's going to be a bloodbath. So I do think it's interesting. The AFC was so weird this year. Normally, I'd be worried as a fan of a team who finished in first place. You get a first-place schedule. I would rather play the Patriots than the Bills. I would rather play the Steelers than the Ravens. And I guess I'd rather play – they're going to play the Jags instead of the Texans, but I'd almost rather play the Jags instead of the Texans.
No,
it's kind of weird.
One of those you mentioned, you're getting their whole division.
Yes, I think the East.
Okay.
The AFC East.
You know what extra NFC team you get, though, don't
Panthers,
you?
baby.
Yeah, you worried?
No.
You shouldn't be.
I am glad that I get to go to Carolina and watch a game, though. So, we'll see. Yeah, it is hard to believe that only the Saints, Cardinals, Dolphins, Jets have worse odds than the Panthers, but a lot of it probably does have to do with the schedule because I think they'll be a decent team next year.
Where are the Giants?
The Giants are at plus 7,500, around 20th or so.
Okay.
Yeah, look, if Dart continues to progress and they can put a few more pieces just on the O-line, upgrade, they need like a true maybe defensive superstar. Maybe they can get Trey Hendrickson, I don't know. But they got some defensive pieces. Scadaboo, Malik Neighbors is going to be back. Like the Giants are not going to be bad.
They do have a top 5 pick.
They got a top 5 pick. Yeah, I think they could be.
New coach.
Yeah, they might win 8 games. And Isaiah's not happy that we're saying this, being a Cowboys fan. But yeah, I'm just.
It's not really about Dart progressing though. It's about him just staying on the field. I feel like he gets hurt every other game.
Yeah, the injuries in the NFL are just so tough to predict, and it changes the course of everything. So we'll see. I tell you what, man, the NFL, it ends, and we're still talking about it. It's just it's always fascinating. They do such a great job of staying in the headlines and keeping that thing going year round. ECU baseball this Friday. James Giglio, you'll be covering alongside myself in the press box. Xavier to open the season. What are you hoping to see?
I guess I'm chopped liver. Thanks, I guess I just won't be in the press box,
Philip will be there, I guess.
Philip will be there as well. Is that better, Philip?
Yeah, now I feel included. Thank you. I was sad.
I thought Isaiah was covering this weekend, but I guess that's Saturday.
No, Isaiah's doing Saturday.
Okay. Philip will be there Friday. I will be there Friday as well, and James will be there Friday. And it'll probably be an overcrowded press box like it always is for the opener. And then it'll settle down from there. By like the Keith LeClaire Classic, I tell you, the University of Pennsylvania series. We'll see who the real diehard media members are then. I think that might be spring break as well.
Yeah, those midweekers.
Yeah, it'll be like us and Donnell will be there.
Yeah.
Pirate Radio will be there, and the TV guys will be there, and that will be it.
Can't wait to see who gets the seat beside the window that can't close when it's 40 degrees outside. Because they have to hear the marketing team has to hear the music. Yeah. We're taking you behind the scenes here. Yeah. There are much worse press boxes out there. So,
cough, Campbell.
Yes, Campbell for sure. And
cough, the Durham Bulls.
Durham Bulls
is atrocious.
God, it's an embarrassment. ECU will play at the Durham Bulls Stadium on the Saturday game for the UNC Series Week 2. What are you hoping to see, James, this weekend for the Pirates?
I'm just going to play it safe. I'm hoping for a 2-1 weekend record. I think Xavier is a team that has had a couple of down years, but they're historically pretty solid with their manager, their coach, who's now been there for quite a while. I think this is 10th year, 11th year, maybe 9th. But yeah, Xavier's had a couple down years in a row, and we just looked at their schedule before the show. I mean, their schedule is pretty brutal. So I don't know.
The brutalist, I think.
Like one of the more, it's terrible. So I don't know how much they're going to be able to get. It is opening weekend, so I'm sure they'll get up. But I mean, I think they have other ideas besides ECU week 1. But I'm expecting 2-1. I expect Norby to win his start on Friday, and Sunday should get interesting. But that's all I'm hoping for. Sweep would be awesome, but I'm hoping for 2-1.
Can we place bets as to whether or not we will play Sunday or have a doubleheader on Saturday?
Good.
I feel like looking at 90% chance of rain as of today, starting midday, that is a pretty high probability it'll be a doubleheader. You should have the inside info because you are a potential producer for this.
So, I was actually in the SID's office today because I had to drop off some equipment for Grady for Darren for tonight. I did ask Val, the new baseball SID, if she had heard anything. She said no, but just kind of putting our heads together and just speculating, by looking at the weather. We did pull up the forecast. I'm going to just place a bet to say doubleheader, and I'm going to say doubleheader probably starting at noon. I don't think they keep the 2 o'clock start time if they do that because I'd have like a 6:30 or so second start time. They're trying to avoid those late starts this early in the season. So that's my guess, but that is no inside information. She had not talked to Franny or Cliff or anybody, so no inside information that I can give you guys. But I can tell you what my bet would be.
Yeah, and I don't know. A lot of these things depend on the opponent's travel schedule. Like, is Xavier, are they taking a bus somewhere to another location? They play at Louisville midweek. Are they going Are they busing from here to Louisville? Are they flying back home and then going to Louisville? Like, I don't know what their plans are, but that could also, if they have to leave Sunday night, that could factor in. Otherwise, they may try and wait it out. But, yeah, I could see them going doubleheader, and then that makes it that much tougher to sweep because it's just hard to sweep a doubleheader period. But then this early in the season, James, can't be throwing arms but so deep into games.
Yeah, I mean, just like you said, starting out with a doubleheader, obviously tough. But, like you said, Xavier probably has to bus to Louisville is what we were talking about, and then probably bus from Louisville to Arkansas. I don't know how that would work. Louisville's not that far from Cincinnati, so I'm sure they can get some time in between there. But, yeah, like we said, their schedule is brutal. I think for the Pirates, though, back to what I was saying about this weekend, bats, pitching, and I think 2-1 is the goal.
Real Justice Brad says, I'm excited, so excited for ECU baseball. Feels like forever since the last season. Kenny Curlin says, break the brooms out. And Robert Matthews wants to ask the coach about the weather. Yeah, let's not
say we did.
Yeah, Cliff Godwin, not a fan of questions about weather.
Weather questions.
You want to ask Cliff a weather question this year?
I could, yeah. I might just lead it off. First game, first
question.
There you
go. First post-game question after the opener. Coach, what did you think of the weather today?
Yeah, that's just first game of the season. Rip the Band-Aid off.
I have one way we could maybe get around it. Coach, your team if they go out there and just kick the ever-loving mess out of them. Coach, you missed a few days of practice due to the snow. Seemed to have not affected the team. That's maybe how we could do a quasi-weather question without
it's a good angle, Phil.
Getting in trouble.
I'm sure the response may be that I don't know how much it snowed in Cincinnati, but I'm going to guess Xavier maybe dealt with a little bit more.
Too,
yeah, they probably did. Cincinnati's like southern. I don't know if that matters, but
Philip, before we take a break, what do you want to see this weekend? I've already talked about this on my podcast, so I don't really need to say anymore, but what do you want to see?
I want to see competent pitching out of 90% of the guys we throw out there. And I'm not saying that means they've got to go out there and look like Ethan Norby. I'm saying no balls spiked in the dirt, no balls thrown at the backstop. Don't throw it off the mascot's head like we're in Bull Durham. No back-to-back walks, anything like that. Like, I just want to have guys that I can feel good going into the Carolina series. Like, hey, we can trust that guy to go out there and throw strikes. So that's the big thing for me.
All right, there is the expectations for week one and what we want to see. We'll get more into it Thursday, Friday, obviously. We got to get a break in. Before we do that, as we go to break, I'm going to tell you about number 47, Luke Craddock. I'm going to impromptu do an ECU baseball roster rundown with one guy before every break. Luke Craddock is a true freshman, 6'2", 215, out of Warrenton, Virginia, Pro 5 Academy, which is academy on the rise when it comes to prep baseball.
It's right by my house.
Yeah, really good program. And this guy, big-time high school recruit. Have not heard a lot about him since he got to ECU, just due to, I think, the configuration of the team. Big power, right-handed bat. A lot of juice to him. Hit .351 over his varsity career, .476 on base percentage, 13 steals. Can run it out of the park. I think he's more in a developmental stage right now, probably a first base DH type, who I expect to see more of maybe as the season goes along or next year once he develops. So Luke Craddock, number 47. May not hear his name a lot this year, but a guy long-term I like for the Pirates. Let's get a break in. We'll come back. This is Hoist the Colors on a Wednesday.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Go Pirates! Arg!
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Alan, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville Patio and Hearth Shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted.
Climb aboard as we set sail and hoist the colors.
Ahar, matey!
Back to the show with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
Welcome back in. Hoist the Colors, segment 2. We've got Hoist the Colors intern James Giglio hanging out. He's covering tonight's game, also covering the baseball game Friday, along with Philip Pilkington, who will be in there as well on opening day. We had a few more comments on that before we talk football. Real Justice Brad says, I want to see pure domination because the road to Omaha starts now, and we are definitely going to Omaha this year. Set your expectations high, Brad. Have no problem with that. And Tim Smith said, I would say a benefit of having the doubleheader this weekend would be having to throw a lot of the guys, and we can get an idea of where they are. I think that's a positive.
That's a good thing.
Spin.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
I think you will see a lot of arms for sure. All right, we've been doing our better, worse, even, question mark, position breakdowns. Today, gentlemen, we get to start with the defense. I'll run through, as we have, the departures, the returners, the newcomers, and all that, and then we can discuss. What we're doing is we're comparing how the ECU football roster looks right now on paper as of today compared to the end of last season. All right, departures. Zion Wilson, all-conference nose guard, went from a guy who had hardly ever played to a dominating force. 13 games, 31 tackles, 29 quarterback pressures, 6 sacks, 74.4 PFF grade. Again, 0 to 100 is the PFF grading scale. 60 is considered average. Anything over 60 is good. J.D. Lampley graduated. Had to play more inside last year than usual. 13 games, 546 snaps, 20 pressures, 51.5 PFF grade. In my opinion, his grade went down because he was kind of playing out of position, but still a loss nonetheless. Justin Benton, surprising transfer to North Texas, 13 games as a rotational player, 250 snaps, 63.3 PFF grade. And Xavier McIver transferred as well to Southern Miss. Benton, by the way, transferred to North Texas. McIver started the opener, messed up his knee, and missed the rest of the season. He's going to Southern Miss for year 7 as an interior defensive line. All right, notable returners, Josiah Robinson, who started at defensive end once Lampley moved inside after the injury to McIver. Robinson is back, got an extra year of eligibility, 13 games, a lot of those starts, 407 snaps, 24 quarterback pressures, 7 sacks, 77.9 PFF grade. Really good player for ECU last year and healthy. Kieran Davis is back up, 13 games, 192 snaps, 17 pressures, 70.5 PFF grade as a redshirt sophomore. Evan Powell is back. He's a redshirt freshman this coming year. They like him, young, up-and-coming defensive end. Preston Carr is back, stud defensive tackle, 13 games, 30 tackles, 18 pressures, 75.9 PFF grade. Ryan Roseboro's back, 13 games, 371 snaps, 12 quarterback pressures, 3 sacks, 61 PFF grade. Also a couple carries and a touchdown at FAU. Two-way player Torrin Brazel, 11 games, 68.5 PFF grade is back. Javon Williams, Dom Moody, and Josiah Dwyer are 3 scholarship defensive tackles who are developing that are back as well. ECU did not add any transfers. And I think a big reason why they did not is because Evan Powell, Brazel, Javon Williams, Dom Moody, Josiah Dwyer. Those are 5 names who haven't played a lot that I've heard internally they're very high on. High school signees, they did sign Kelton Smith, 6'4", 310-pound defensive tackle out of Gaffney, and Ethan Wilson, who is the nephew of former NFL defensive end C.J. Wilson out of North Pitt High School. So a lot of bodies here, guys, and I'm just going to be honest up front, and we can discuss this a little further in detail. Roy Tesh is back. ECU has historically, under Roy Tesh, doesn't matter what the defensive line names are, the personnel, they're going to be good up front until proven otherwise for me. And I think, honestly, losing Zion Wilson hurts and losing Lampley hurts, but I think Josiah Robinson's good. I think Roseboro's good. Carr's good. And I like some of these young guys' upside better than what's leaving. I'm going to go better. That's just my personal take. We can discuss further. We'll start with James. What's your take on all that information?
I'm going to say even because obviously Wilson and Lampley are definitely key losses, 2 guys that have been here, especially Lampley, veteran losses on that front seven. But like you said, when you have Roy Tesh and Blake Harrell, especially Roy Tesh, I think you could get me, you, Phillip, and Isaiah on the D-line. I think it would still be effective because last year when people were doubting them,
there were no expectations going into last year.
There were no expectations. People were doubting them, and they proved everybody wrong. So not ever going to doubt them again. Not going to doubt Roy Tesh, and I'm not going to doubt a Blake Harrell-led defense. So I'm going to say even for now, and I expect them to get better or be better.
Yeah, it's hard for me to disagree with James on this. Look, you mentioned 4 or 5 names right there that they're high on, but those guys are still unproven. I think this will be deeper. I think it will be better. But as we sit right now, you lose those 2 guys. Let's just go even for the sake of, hey, you can't applaud somebody and give them any credit if they hadn't proven it yet.
That's fair. I mean, I think that's fair. And I think the biggest question for me is, can they replace Wilson's ability? He didn't really take over games at nose tackle, but he definitely just he changed games at times with his play, and it's tough to get a nose tackle who can be that disruptive. I think to me that Josiah Robinson, Kieran Davis are proven pass rushers off the edge, and I think Carr and Roseboro are proven run stoppers in the middle. Can they create that similar pass rush in the middle? Preston Carr actually graded out slightly better than Zion as an all-around player, but can they create that similar pass rush? And losing Justin Benton, not ideal, but I just think I look at a guy like Josiah Dwyer. He played 3 snaps last year, but being out of practice, this guy has a chance to be really good. Same thing with Brazel. At the end of the day, I just trust this staff's evaluation of defensive linemen. This time last year, Preston Carr had barely played, Zion Wilson had barely played, and maybe I'm giving ECU too much credit, but I'm just going to believe in the process. So I'm going slightly better, but I do think you guys' take is fair. Even is probably the smarter way to go.
Yeah, I think, and you mentioned Preston Carr, how he didn't play before last year, really play at all. He emerged, so you never know who can emerge like him, who was in waiting. And the fact that they brought in no transfers and they only brought in these high school signees and then kept the depth they had just shows the depth that they had and that trust they have in these guys. I have faith that at least a couple of them will step up and emerge and replace Wilson and Lampley just nicely or just fine.
And even guys, even if it is just equal, I think that's pretty dang good.
Yeah, you take that because last year the D line, like we've been saying, the D line was one of the shining stars of the team.
How many Group of 5 schools would lose? 4 contributors: McIver, Benton, Wilson, Lampley, and say, all right, we're not expecting a drop off, Phillip. So that's a huge deal.
Not at a big boy position, that's for sure. Not many Group of 5 schools would feel that way without adding some guy who came down from the SEC that wasn't getting the playing time. So, it's but, there's one thing that no other Group of 5 school has in the country. Roy Tesh.
This is true. Roy Tesh, by the way, now I believe officially listed as co-coordinator. I need to check on this. Let's see. If I go to ecupirates.com, go to football, I know that he was in the process of being elevated to co-coordinator along with D-line coach. Yep, he is listed as co-coordinator and defensive line coach. So that has been made official. I need to try to get a contract to see if he's got any sort of raise, but well-deserved, gentlemen. Like, I feel like we could do a whole show. I was thinking about this the other day. We get limited access so much to the coaches and players as far as interviews. I would just love to do an in-depth feature and just follow Roy Tesh around like an entire day of spring practice just to see.
Post on like TikTok or something.
Yeah, like, because I would love to be able to like tell that story because he's so relatable. Like, the players love him. I just want to know what Roy Tesh does in the spring and the offseason to like just get these guys to buy in so much.
Oh, I actually saw him and Blake Harrell. They were running around like outside my apartment.
Oh, that's the staple.
Yeah, there was a staple. I literally, on the way back from class there, I did see them. So I thought that was pretty cool.
They do have their daily run. That'd be a part of it. I will say this. Steven could film it, not to take anything away from either one of those guys. They did a great job running. I think Steven's got it, so we're going to let Steven film the run and mic him up for that because I know I think the run's only like 2.5 miles. So, we'll let him do that. Or if you would like to put Erica on the project and make her feel included, she could do it because, she's running – heck, she's got to run 26 miles on Saturday. So,
2 miles is nothing.
She's running a marathon in Oak Island this weekend. So I did run 10 miles on Monday to prepare for the Pirate 10 miler. If anybody's running that, let me know. I think that's late March, so I could do it. But I don't think they'll give me the access. I think Blake would. I don't know about the rest of ECU.
Yeah, I don't know if you could get access following around to his office and at practice. If you asked Blake and Coach Tesh if you could go on the run with him, I think that would not get turned down because I think those are the only two that have the power to turn it down. So
yeah, and I would let ECU edit whatever they want to out of my story/video, but hey, just something.
That'd be a really cool experience, yeah.
There was we're going a little bit on a tangent here. I know we got to break in, but there was an article at ESPN after the Broncos lost the AFC Championship with Sean Payton and the whole 4th and 1 deal, where the writer was able to follow him from the AFC divisional game up through the AFC Championship game, like in the office. So they actually discussed how he watched one of the divisional rounds and said, I would have taken the points there on a 4th and 1. And then he went for it the next week, obviously, in the similar situation. And the writer was able to call back to the first situation and explain why the Peyton decision was different. So, but you need access for that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to, yeah.
Yep. So, good storytelling, but you got to have the availability to do it. All right, maybe I'll try to run up the flagpole, see what I can do with Blake Harrell. Let's get a quick break in. We'll come back. Want to talk about something different next segment. Social media. I'm trying, James, to give up some social media as you pull your phone up.
Yeah.
I want to discuss that next segment, and we'll get all of our takes as well because we're all in different age brackets to a degree, so we'll discuss that. On the other side, this is Hoist the Colors.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown. At National Finance, we're all about hometown support, just like ECU football. National Finance helps us win on and off the field. They've got your back when you need it most. Fast, easy personal loans for life's big plays. And just like us, they're committed to Eastern North Carolina. National Finance, proud supporters of ECU athletics. Visit nfcmoney.com for loans as fast as today.
Make every day electric on the Kawasaki Electro 20 electric balance bike. Maximize the fun with long run times, impressive top speed, and Kawasaki build quality. Easy adjustability and smooth handling make everyday riding more enjoyable. And the standard MTB type tires provide off-pavement capability. The Kawasaki Electro 20 is the electric balance bike that's built to rip. Go to Ron Ayers Motorsports, Memorial Drive north of the airport, Greenville.
The Pirates play here. This is Hoist the Colors Radio with Steve and Igo.
Yes! That was so good!
On 94.3 The Game.
Welcome back in. Hoist the Colors here. Wednesday, February 11th edition of the show. We will continue our ECU baseball roster rundown at the end of the segment. We'll talk about Sean Jenkins. But before we do that, I was going to discuss this Tuesday with Philip, but we decided we'd table it for we had a few more minutes. I'm trying. We got James Giglio here with us, Philip Pilkinen producing, intern Isaiah hanging out. I'm trying to be better about not being on my phone as much, and part of that is giving up social media. But here's my problem, guys. I run a business that I have to have social media or it's not going to be very successful. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at a workaround. I don't really know of one. Anybody that has an idea, help me out, please. But I have been more conscious about just not getting on Twitter and scrolling because there's just a lot of negativity out there. And like stuff that now, I feel like when I used to get on Twitter, it would just be the people I followed with the news I want. And now I know there's the For You tab and then there's the Following tab. But even if I'm on the Following tab, it'll sometimes be like, hey, we recommend you follow this person. Mm-hmm. And it pops up with their tweets. Okay. So I don't know. It's just a lot. So I don't want to be like old man yells at cloud conversation. I'm 33. Philip, how old are you again?
27.
How old are you?
20.
All right. So, solid age gap between all of us, though not so huge that it's like not worth having the conversation. So, I don't know. From my point of view, when I first got into Twitter, which was like probably 2010, 11, somewhere in there, it was just like, all right, I'm following my sports people. I'm getting my sports information. I can get on Twitter and I can see it. And now it's just a bunch of nonsense half the time. And you can get fast information. And then Instagram, which I don't get on as much, my algorithm, as I was talking about with James during the break, is just like random stuff. I watch one video about like exercising or running, and then it's just everything is that.
Yeah.
Or like one political video, not turn this into a political conversation, and then it's all that. And it's just a bunch of negativity. So I don't know. I'm trying to be better about doom scrolling, as we all say, but it's a tough battle because I have to be out there to see what's happening in the sports world. So I don't. Do any of you have any suggestions or any thoughts on this conversation?
I mean, I guess just one way. Like, if you really just wanted to stick to sports on both platforms, you could just I think you can temporarily deactivate your personal account, which I guess is a way. But I mean, I guess you would still get the same stuff if I don't know. It's just one thing I can think of.
And then I kind of have to have my Twitter personal account just because.
Yeah, for work, I guess.
For tweeting out links. I don't want to be just totally inactive. unless I just consciously said, hey, I'm just going to get up there and tweet a link. But it's like half the time I do it by habit because it's on my phone and I know what spot it's in. And I won't even realize it. I'll be like I'll respond to somebody's text message and then like I just click the Twitter thing.
You could hire someone to run your personal accounts like the real celebrities have. And they have the burners.
I don't have that much money.
I know.
You want to do it though?
I mean, I could do it. That's what they do though. Is they just hire somebody to run these personal accounts. Like, I mean, if you think like Kim Kardashian's going on her phone and tweeting or posting something on Instagram, like they don't act. That's not them personally. It's like they have a manager.
Yeah, the tough thing I think now though, Steven, is like you brought up the word doom scrolling. You know, like there used to be a time, like you mentioned, where you could kind of just follow the sports people, and like this week is a perfect example. Normally, after the Super Bowl, people are ranking favorite commercials. Hey, was the right MVP given out? And now every even sports page was like, what were your thoughts on the halftime show? And then that leads down the whole political side of things because people really were pretty much judging it based off their political views, not really off what they actually thought about it. They were looking at it through instead of with clear vision, they were looking at it through their blue or red lens. And like I said, I mean, I don't know if the NFL Twitter page put it out, but there were a lot of Twitter pages that were official pages that were putting that out.
They're trying to incite that.
Yeah, they're trying to bring it up. That's the thing. You know, somebody should have been saying, hey, did Jason Myers get snubbed? He scored 15 points. 17 if you include his PATs, but 15 in field goals, and the Patriots only scored 14. That should have been the Twitter war going on. Or, hey, was the Dunkin' commercial better or the Pepsi commercial where they stole Coke's polar bears? Like, those are the fights we should have been having, but even the sports pages were playing into this narrative, and now, for example, Patrick's show, we do the 5 at 5 every day. I got to get 5 news sports stories, and now it's a lot harder to find than it would have been a few years ago because I really just – and I'm on our company account that only follows sports pages, and I'm still getting this crap.
I think, though, with the Super Bowl, the thing is this specific Super Bowl, why it might have been a little harder, just from like a different perspective, is the game by itself was a relatively boring football game.
True.
It was a relatively boring football game. There wasn't a lot of controversial plays. There wasn't a lot of controversial officiating, which I think was a big factor. I think there was like 3 penalties in the whole game. And usually when you have those kind of factors, like last year the Super Bowl was boring. There wasn't a lot of dialogue after it. People were just happy to see the Chiefs get beat. The previous year, though, when you had the Chiefs 49ers, there was a lot of discussion about the 49ers making the right decision at the coin flip in overtime. So that was 2 years ago, though. But I think the last 2 Super Bowls being boring have invited other conversations that could be politically charged. And then you kind of just have to talk about the halftime show because that was the biggest thing that happened because the game was just so boring.
And the NFL blows up the halftime show, as Philip said earlier this week, to make it such a big deal about it. It's, I don't know. I guess I could just be better about who I follow because I do tend to follow a decent amount of people. I'm like, oh, this guy followed me. I kind of know him. I'm going to follow him back. Maybe I don't want to be that guy who just follows like 5 people, though, and then my feed's nothing. But maybe I just need to clean up my follow list. But then I still will get bombarded with the For You list. I just want to get rid of the For You list because half the time I don't even realize I'm on it on Twitter. The other thing with Facebook, which I don't get on hardly at all anymore, when I used to, Philip and I were talking about this yesterday. I don't even know, you're 20, so do you even have a Facebook account?
I have a Facebook account, but it's not even like my name. I never go on Facebook, so I just have an account.
Okay. So it's like when I was growing up, it was first of all it was originally for college students, and then somehow everybody got access to it. But it was like family photos and all that, and now it's like AI generated news clips that are just like pulled to be clickbait. And so like I get sent all these stories all the time. ECU signed a Michigan offensive line transfer, and everybody's asking about it. I'm like, yeah, that's not real. That's an AI generated website article that's just posted on the Facebook. So Facebook is just like a complete cesspool now.
Yeah, it's
bad.
But also it generates engagement, and engagement generates money.
Yeah.
That's all it really comes down to.
I personally think Facebook's the most political one of them all. I mean, obviously there's like political pages on TikTok, but if you don't follow that stuff and you don't interact with it, you don't see it. But like everybody gets on Facebook and just like lets their opinions be heard because there's not the character list the amount of rants you see on Facebook and even people's stories, man, on Facebook. Like, man, I want to know, like, I want to get on Facebook and connect with my cousins that live out west and see if their kids won their soccer game. You know, that's what I want to see, not like random people I went to high school with political views. Like random people I went to high school with, I became Facebook friends with you because we were in high school. Now, if you get a new puppy, yeah, put your new puppy on Facebook. I want to see your new dog. I don't really care about, you know, what your thoughts were on the Super Bowl halftime show.
I think, though, another way to look at it, I think TikTok and Instagram, just me personally, it's hard to avoid politics. I don't know how it is on Facebook because I don't go, but it is really hard to avoid politics on Twitter. But TikTok and Instagram, I have found it just based on my algorithms and based on who I follow, it is pretty easy to avoid political stuff. But I think also those apps are more catered to people my age. So I don't know if that, and people my age don't really give any, like, don't really care that much.
Yeah, they're very, it's, I've noticed those, you know, TikTok, it comes down if you watch the whole video or you scroll past it, it kind of makes you realize of what you're doing. And then Instagram, it has to do with what accounts you search. And then also, like, when you go to the search, the one where it, like, pops up other posts and videos, like, which one of those type of stuff you click on, it takes a, like, huge part of that. Whereas Facebook and Twitter, it's so much of who you follow. Where in Facebook, it's all friends-based. So, like, you know, we're not Facebook friends with Adam Schefter.
Yeah.
We're Facebook friends with some guy from high school that, you know.
But yeah, and then you also, you can't control what, like, your friend, like, who your friends with are. If your friends are posting, like, if people you're following are posting political stuff, that's one thing because at that point it's just unavoidable. But like you said, if it's the app is just putting that in your algorithm, then
all this algorithm stuff, I just want my sports news. But yeah. I have heard that there is some sort of specific sports social media with no nonsense coming down the line that is scheduled to be out potentially by the end of the year. And I am curious if that comes to fruition, how it looks, and if it can stay that way, because most of these things start out that way and then they evolve into
I think it's called the Real app. I don't know if it's social media or
the Real app.
Yeah, it's like Real. It's like REAL, and they post a bunch of scores. And I know a lot of people, like content creators, are sponsored by them.
Okay.
Or so I don't know if that's a social media app though. But
yeah, I just want to know who got a contract extension.
Yeah, just give me
how many weeks insert player X is out, and I don't know. You know, this start time's been moved.
My Twitter though, I have Thamel, Schefter, Shams, and Jeff Passan. I have their notifications on for Twitter, so I see when something happens.
I have started to do more of that, add notifications for the people I really care about, and that's allowed me to not just scroll through Twitter. So that is another workaround as well. Hunter says, whatever forms any type of engagement is what's posted. And he says, remember how we got annoyed with pointless pictures and status updates on Facebook? Now to Pilk's point, we want that back now. That's how bad it's gotten.
We did get annoyed.
Yeah. Kenny says we need MySpace back. Absolutely.
Hey.
Let's bring it back. Tom, our friend,
everybody's
top friend. MySpace was the original.
That was the pre-Facebook. So MySpace, James. So I'm 7 years older than you.
Yeah.
MySpace was like going down when I hit like 5th or 6th grade. So right around the time you were born. Like I never had a MySpace. So I got Facebook in like 6th grade. I was probably 12, 13 when I got Facebook, and that was the thing, man. The other thing is Facebook too. There used to be games on there. Like you used to get on there and play like games that you would now play on your phone. You'd play on Facebook, and so like when you would finish, it would show you what your high score was compared to the world, but compared to everybody you were a Facebook friend with. So there was kind of some fun on Facebook of like, hey man, this like brick breaker game, I got a higher score than James, and then you like see that, and then you go in and try and beat my high score. That's kind of what Facebook was back then. It was fun.
MySpace, you could add your own music to your page, your own background. You had a top friends list. Everybody would get offended if you didn't have like your friends ranked a certain way.
Yeah.
So it was kind of crazy. But that was like the original. That and AIM Messenger is what I remember doing when I was going through middle school, high school. All right, let's get a break in. We'll go back to ECU sports. I promise. Just had to get that conversation in, and we got to talk about Sean Jenkins on the other side. Expectations for him. ECU baseball roster rundown continues. Basketball talk. Women get a win last night. We'll squeeze all that in our final few minutes.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville Patio and Hearth Shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked to order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's Cut in Color and let our experienced stylist take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State.
Everything you need to know in the world of ECU athletics. This is Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
Welcome back in, Hoist the Colors. We were talking about Snapchat during the break. Yeah, but it's that time of year, guys. We're in between ECU football and baseball season, so we're just trying to get through it. But we're 2 days away. Nice social media discussion. Final few minutes of the show. James Giglio hanging out, Philip Hilkinen producing. I want to hit one more baseball player. Sean Jenkins on our roster rundown, number 48. It sounds like, guys, he's going to start in the bullpen. Not official yet, but really talented right-hander. We know last year up and down as a 17-year-old freshman most of the season. 4-4, 19 appearances, 12 starts, 5.12 ERA, 52 Ks, 20 walks, and 70.1 innings. I think maybe his stuff will play up a little bit more in the bullpen. Maybe he doesn't have to think as much. Maybe there's not as much pressure on him. I will say I think by the end of the year he is starting or a capable starter in some regard, but I just think they're trying to figure out the best way to deploy him, Philip, going into the season.
Look, man, there's a lot of guys fighting for 3, preferably 4 spots, and if you don't win one of those spots, there's nothing wrong with it. A lot of things will change as the year goes on. Injuries will happen, and look, Sean has proven he can start, but also, so have a lot of other guys who are coming in right now. And, we mentioned the thing about Van Kempen and his, so far inability to work deep. Does that mean you kind of pair those two together and say, hey, can each of you give me 4? And they're kind of a dual starter on Saturday, kind of thing? I don't know. I mean, look, Sean's gonna find his spot. And if he's pitching well, he's going to be put in big-time situations, whether that's starting roles or high-leverage roles. And I think he will pitch well.
Sean, but he was 17 last year, like we said. James, you're 20. He'll now be 18 this year. Could you kind of imagine doing what he did at 17? I think we see a big leap this year.
Yeah, 17. I mean, I was in high school, obviously, when I was. I mean, most of American kids when they're 17 are still in high school. So to see what him, playing college baseball, Division I baseball, especially for ECU, which is a higher level Group of 5 program, is pretty incredible. I think, like you said, a bigger leap. And just, how well he plays is going to determine the leverage situation he's going to get put in. It's that simple for him. And I think he's going to find his role as the season goes along.
ECU basketball-wise, the women get a huge win last night at Tulane to complete the season sweep. I guess just one game against Tulane, it looks like. They played Temple. They would go for the season sweep this weekend on February 14th. But 65-61 road win in New Orleans. Fauntleroy goes for 23 points, so they stay in second place, 10-2 in the league now, 18-7 overall. And then tonight, gentlemen,
the game.
ECU, UTSA. The Pirates are 11.5-point favorites over the Roadrunners, who are 4 and something with 2 Division I wins. Can they get it done?
ECU, yes. I say they get it done and cover.
I think they do too. I think they win by 13-15.
If ECU shows up motivated tonight, they should roll. UTSA is very bad. But they may see this as their opportunity to get a win as well. So this is the first of 2 meetings between the Roadrunners and Pirates. James, appreciate you, man, on this Wednesday. He'll be back next week. Philip, as always, thank you. Intern Isaiah, thank you as well for your work behind the scenes. We got to get out of here. We'll be back tomorrow at 12 noon. Casey and Rameli from Carolina Curveball will preview the college baseball weekend. We'll see you then on HTC.